This is the Bodhichitta series number 15. The first one we did in Punyasthala Ashram in Karnataka state. It's about like the 5-6 hours from Bangalore and about like 2.5 hours from Jepun and Gandhi Monastery. It was a very good start, the very auspicious beginning there, and then from there the same Bodhichitta Retreat happened in many places. Now today is the 15th. The 14th one took place in Israel, and the 13th one in France, and 12th one in Malaysia, and 11th one in Indonesia. Particularly Indonesia, 11th one, it was very moving, the experience. It was attended to about like 82 participants, and thank you. Particularly 11th one was extremely very touching and very unique, in the sense that 11th one in Indonesia, the place where all this teaching on Bodhichitta, which we inherited from Lama Atisha Dibangara Shirigyana, who in turn received all these teachings on Bodhichitta from Lama Selingpa. Lama Selingpa, the Indonesian prince, Lama Selingpa. And just for information, it is extremely, something so unique about this is that the Lama Atisha Dibangara Shirigyana, who himself was a prince, and then he became an incredibly great learned scholar and a practitioner in India, in Virkamanshila Monastic University, and also in Nalanda Monastic University. So there, he became such a renowned scholar, practitioner, and then he heard the renown of this great teacher, the Lama Selingpa, and also referred to as the Acharya Dharmakirti. So now, keep in mind that Acharya Dharmakirti, there are two. One, the 7th century AD, Acharya Dharmakirti, the great logician and an incredibly great bodhisattva, 7th century AD from India. And then the second one, Acharya Dharmakirti, in 11th century AD in Indonesia, the prince there. And the exact location, exact place where the Lama Atisha Dibangara Shirigyana received teachings from Lama Selingpa there. So the Jambi, we went there, we did the retreat, about like 12-day retreat there in a place, and then we actually went there to visit the site, the monastery where all these teachings on Bodhichitta were transmitted. So this is just for information. It was a very moving, very touching and moving experience there. Now this time here in Vajradhara Center, again I see this as the extremely unique, in the sense that this is a new center coming up and started by Indrajitji and Rahulji. Both of them so courageously started the center, and the location-wise is very beautiful, extremely beautiful place for the Mumbai people. There's a cool breeze there. For the Delhi people, there's the fresh air there. Yeah, so we see that and then the landscape is so beautiful, the morning sunrise. So from every angle, from every point of view, we see that this is extremely good place, and the manner in which the basic motivation which triggered these two young gentlemen to start this center is purely out of, say the passion for Dharma. We've seen that the Dharma, how much the Dharma has benefited two of them, and then wanted to see that this benefit the Dharma renders actually something which, why not other people also benefit out of this. So it is sheer the altruistic intention, compassionate intention, the warm intention that two of them had, that this eventually came up with, and it's very inspiring to see that there are people who are really working for Dharma. It's very interesting, and it really touches the hearts. Okay, so this is the first thing that I like to tell two of them and all the grand 20 years old, the team, all the young ones around, very energetic. So I like to really congratulate two of them, the team, and everyone who worked so hard for this. And I came here now, this is my third time, and every time I came here there's energy of youth, energy of young, right, who can dash here and there. Okay, so all these young boys and girls, it's full of energy here, and it's amazing. So now the Buddha image came here, and Guru Nima will say at the hilltop, it's very auspicious. So because of it says that the blessings of the Buddha, the blessings of these enlightened beings such as Guru Nima is saying, so the wind blows here, so this wind can carry this, the vibration, the blessings from the center to everywhere in the world. Okay, this is very auspicious thing. I'm so happy, and then all the participants here, it is such a joy to see that now something is happening in Pune. So otherwise, what we have is the Pune University, the Asheji and Zubinji's program, which is so beneficial, through which everything is spreading so fast, and something very genuine teachings of the Buddha going everywhere. That is amazing. The vision and the charisma and the prayers of Asheji and Zubinji, and so now they're spreading everywhere. Okay, this is something very good news. And then here, now the Indrajit and Rahulji and the team, and they're working so hard, and something is coming now. So on top of the academic studies, something more, the spiritual. There's a place here now, people can actually stay here and then do the practice here. This is very auspicious. And recently, some more programs already happened here. This is so auspicious, extremely encouraging, very inspiring. Okay, so this is, I'm very happy. And so, why not all of us, the participants here, and for sure there are many people. In fact, this morning I sent the morning sunrise view from Vajradhara Center. I just saw it, like clicked it, and then sent it to my friends as well. They sent me the picture of yesterday. I thought, where did you get this from? I try to make them, give them a surprise. They give me a surprise. Okay, so it's very touching. Yeah. So basically, this program is going to be right from the beginning. It's very intense. Although we call it Bodhichitta Retreat, and people get the impression that Bodhichitta, this is just the practice of compassion. So it's very rich, meaning it has all the elements of Buddha's teachings. And on the one hand, it may be for us to be too ambitious to incorporate all these elements. For example, say the Bodhichitta Bodhisattva, starting from Buddha nature, then the four seals of Buddha's teachings, and then the actual teaching of Buddha, the emptiness, actual teaching of Bodhicitta, and then the various meditation techniques, and the particular meditation on the mind, meditation on the nature of the mind, and everything is included there. So it's going to be very intense, and oftentimes I don't think there's anyone who hits 70. No one who is above 70. So there, say, one time, one of my friends, very respected person, he was already in 70s. He attended 2 or 3 retreats, and then he was telling somebody else that another one who was also in 70s, who was feeling a little tired, advised the other one that, okay, you don't have to go to all Geshe's retreats, right? Geshe says they're so intense, right? We cannot really go wherever he goes, right? So this advice given. So for sure, it's going to be very intense here as well. And the schedule this morning in the retreat and the Shalmali, 2 of them, we already 2 of us, we discussed all the timetables. So not from 6:30, it's from actually quarter to 6 actually. But then to make it more accommodating for your mind, we said it's 6. Actually, it's quarter to 6. Yeah. Okay, so this is where we start from, and then of course, don't worry. Particularly in the daytime, like lunch until 3, there's a gap. The free time for your personal practice, for your rest or whatever, and then it goes till like 7:30. Was it? Till like dinner, with the short breaks here and there. Otherwise, it's more like full swimming. And then after dinner, there is the optional group discussion. Okay. So what I'm going to do from tomorrow, I'm going to give a very quick overview of what I'm going to do, is that this book is extremely, extremely important, this book, and I'm very happy to say that there are many people who say that this book, by getting this book, seeing this book, they found a treasure. This is what they say, and that's very true. This is something which is very comprehensive, and particularly for the retreat, this is what you carry with you: the morning prayers, the food during the meals, and then for all the classes here during the meals, and then the evening, the group discussions is fine. Group discussions not necessary, but for meals and for all the classes here, this book is necessary. Okay, and then so basically we see that who already attended the other retreats with me, Dorji, Rahulji, 2 of you. Okay, so from how you were saying the food offering this morning, I could hear it from my room. So I was very happy that at least there's somebody who's used to our retreats. So I'm very happy that you started doing that. So basically the idea is that we always try to be little ambitious, positively ambitious, in ways that what we do here for the classes, we try to make it double, if not 3 times. How double? By taking this book with you even for the meals, morning breakfast, afternoon, then the dinner. So all these 3 places we recite, like from the page 49 something, from page 49. Okay, so basically from page 59. From page 59, that for all the 3 meals, from page 59 through, we keep reading like 20 stanzas. 20 stanzas for 1 meal, and then we continue. We carry forth every meal, we read 20 stanzas, and then just continue, letting flow the reading. And so who's ever is going to lead the reading, recitation or reading, I would suggest that because there's some of the texts are a little longer, may have like 100 stanzas. In this case, you have to read it for 3 or 4 sessions. When you read that, what you do is that you specify the text, the title of the text, author of the text, and the page number. Title of the text, author of the text, and the page number, so that everybody, okay, what I'm reading is from this text. Otherwise, you read it directly in between, then people have no clue what we are reading, right? So when you see, even to get touch with the title is very auspicious and extremely beneficial. Because from this, you become familiar with the text. Okay, we are now reading this from the Noble Mahayana Sutra. When we say this, okay, this is the text known as Noble Mahayana Sutra, Dependent Origination. So that way you are connected with the text. So this is how we're going to read it. 1. And then say from tomorrow morning, say at, because in the mornings it's a little cold, we can come at 6. A little cold, we can come at 6. And then for about 5 minutes, we'll make prostrations, do the prostrations. When we do the prostration, make sure that your knees are well protected. Protected meaning that your cushion must be there, on which your knees will go down. Don't put the knees directly on the floor, because in the long run it can hurt your knees. And some Tibetans, they go directly on the floor. So this is not wise. So you have to think of long term, that this is very important to keep your knees intact. 1. And then we can make prostrations. The whole idea of making prostrations is that prostrations, approach that we're going to pick up here is that to the best I can, I'll try to explain. And from your side, don't feel hesitant to ask questions. And you don't have to follow blindly. And okay, we have to do prostrations, we have to do the recitations. Okay, it must be done. No, why? All these must be resolved. Right? You don't have to follow blindly. In fact, it is so important that we follow through reasoning. Okay, those at the back, if you feel a little cold, you can come closer, up. Elaine, you want to come up? You can bring the, rug. Even within, you can bring the rug here, within the Rahul and Nita, you can bring the rug up there, up here. Are you sure? Okay. Others, Ilinji, there's a space next to Siddhanla. That's easy for you. Okay, the idea is that any question that you might have, any questions, we keep in mind that we don't have to, take things blindly. Just try your best to be able to ask questions. And it's not that I have all answers. Keep this in mind, it's not that I have all answers. The thing is that many of the questions coming from the audience helped me so greatly for my own development, for my own learning. This is my share of learning from Vajradhatu, right? Vajradhatu Center. So from your questions, that's very helpful. And meanwhile, these questions, not only that it helps me, it also helps the participants, very helpful. Okay, so this is one approach that we need to keep in mind. Now for that, prostration. Prostration is not that, okay, I prostrate, I surrender, right? Why should we surrender? We have to ask all these questions, right? But then, I'm inviting questions, but don't think that you can ask all these questions to anybody, right? You may meet somebody, they may say that you are very arrogant, right? In fact, I was oftentimes Some people, we had some discussions, and in the process, I got the feeling that now I can ask questions. I start asking a question, and the person stopped me and saying, "You are very arrogant. You are challenging God, you are challenging this, you are challenging that," and so forth. Okay, so keep in mind that not everybody is sane. Some people invite questions, some people may not invite questions. You getting it? Okay, the point is that with Buddhism, it is very important that you have to ask questions. But this is so important. And it is not for you to follow Buddhism, it is not for you to be Buddhist. The point is for your own benefit. For example, I oftentimes say that if you can enjoy pizza, but why should you have to become Italian? Yes. Enjoy pizza, you don't need to become Italian. Right? So likewise, we can reap the benefit from all these different traditions, Buddhist traditions, Hindu tradition, Islamic tradition, Jainism, and Christianity, Judaism. We can take the benefit, and then whatever benefits you take it, then you become a happier person. You make your family members happy, right? And then you see a very different meaning of life, right? So that is the basic idea. Okay, so prostration. Prostration means, I won't use the word surrender. Prostration means that appreciation. I really appreciate you, right? For example, say when you meet, for example, Mother Teresa, "I really appreciate you. You're doing so good. I cannot, thus far, I could not really do as much as you're doing. Amazing, right? I really appreciate you. What can I do to help you? What can I do to support you?" So this is a meaning. Say like prostration is a gesture of appreciation. Appreciation there too, right? The mother appreciates the child, say, learning ABC. So their appreciation is to see the child is learning something. Now here, prostration is appreciation of somebody having a greater quality than you have. Somebody who has a greater quality than you have, and you say, "Wow, it's amazing. I really appreciate that you have these qualities." So that is the meaning of prostration. So this expression of appreciation is manifested physically, verbally, and mentally. So what comes out physically, ordinary people call as prostrations. Physical expression of appreciation. So there are gesture saying that you are much greater than me. Right? For example, Prophet Mahavir, amazingly compassionate, amazingly loving, amazingly a spirit of ahimsa. And for example, say the Jesus Christ, the freedom of love and affection that he demonstrated is amazing. It's not that when you say when you follow Buddhism, or then Jesus Christ is Christianity, or Prophet Muhammad is Jainism, Krishna it is Hindu. In this attitude, we are going wrong. Idea is that we should be able to appreciate anything good from any person, any place, any time. So that is so important. So appreciation, when express that, appreciation, somebody having a greater knowledge than you, particularly knowledge of profession, then you express appreciation in the form of physically, that ordinary people call as prostrations. So big prostrations is a gesture of appreciation. And then why do we have to prostrate? Why do we have to have a physical expression of the appreciation? Why that is needed? That is so important, because the more we do that, right? Say attending such lectures, generally speaking, attending such lectures, right? Who can imbibe more? Who can imbibe more of the learnings? For example, say the easy ones is fine, everybody can imbibe, but the little complicated technical parts, and say perhaps we will tackle that tomorrow, from tomorrow, the technical parts about emptiness. So who will be able to imbibe more of these technical parts? It's not that somebody who is more brilliant will imbibe more. That's not true. Somebody who is more receptive, will imbibe more. Right? And what do you mean by receptive? Somebody who is more interested. It doesn't mean that only those people who are sharper, those people who are more intelligent, they can receive more. That's not true. They are more receptive. Not true. Some people who are very sharp, but they can be very distracted. They are not receptive. Whereas when you're receptive, you imbibe the maximum. So the receptivity. Now, with this prostration, what happens is that your receptivity opens. When you appreciate, you listen to the person so well, you see the other person so well, you see the good qualities, and then you appreciate that, you are really glued to that. That is the reception opens, receptivity opens. So when the receptivity opens, then you learn, the maximum learning takes place. Maximum learning takes place. In the process, even your intelligence also grows. Particularly, for example, the very sophisticated topics. For example, to know what is 2 plus 2. What is 2 plus 2 is form. So we don't need sophisticated intelligence. But for quantum theory, for relativity theory, for neuroscience, and for the emptiness concepts, there we need the sophistication of the thought process. So as we learn these sophisticated topics, for example, like emptiness, because the topic is very sophisticated, your mind continues to grow. That growth is the intelligence, growth of the intelligence. Even the intelligence can be sharpened. And how much the intelligence is going to be sharpened, that is primarily determined by the receptivity, what degree of receptivity that you have. So this receptivity, particularly, for example, making interest in the Buddha Shakyamuni. So there, I say, oh, Buddha Shakyamuni, he can bless us. If this is the attitude, it's very naive. It's very naive. Whereas we see the Buddha Shakyamuni, wow, we went to Rajadhata Center for the Bodhichitta Retreat series number 15. So there we learn about emptiness, which is very complicated. And this emptiness, Buddha Shakyamuni, he just seeing like the way the eyes could see the beautiful flowers. He could see that. For us, it's far away from our thought processes. If this is the appreciation, amazing. How I wish I also get to have this experience very soon, the way the Buddha Shakyamuni had it. So there you look at Buddha Shakyamuni statues and then you have your goosebumps coming in the body. It's amazing. Wow, this being 2,500 years ago, he already had this very profound experience, right? So where the mere glimpse of this experience would give goosebumps in the body, that all your mental agitation, fear, anxiety, all quell. Wow, it's amazing. So with this, then say you express verbally, you express physically, then you express mentally. All these three turn out to be prostration: physical prostration, verbal prostration, mental prostration. Okay, so prostration mornings we do for about 5 minutes. And prostrations, there are so many versions of physical prostrations. All are correct. It's not that the Tibetan version is correct and others are wrong. This is not true. All versions are correct. It is simply a conventional. Over the next few days, we will learn about the conventionality. How the world, how the universe is driven by conventionalities. And the conventionality, we can create any convention. For example, you put on the hat, is a respect. You put off the hat, is a respect. For example, if you go to if you go to Jerusalem, next to the Wailing Wall, without the hat, if you go there, it's a disaster. You have no respect. Right? And then if you go to meet His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and it's surrounded by Tibetan people, right? You put on the hat and you go to his and them, you have no respect. Right? So which is respect, which is not respect? With head on respect, without head on is respect. It's just a pure convention. Which lane is correct? Right lane is correct to drive, or the left lane is correct, right? It's a pure convention. You go to America, it is the right lane.
Right.
You go to India, it's the left lane, right? There's no hard and fast rule from the object. It's all coming from the subject convention. It's purely convention. What is respect? Right? Right? Raise hand like this is respect, and put your hands nicely like this is respect. Both are correct. It depends on the pure convention. You're getting it? So the prostrations, all forms are correct. All forms are correct. If you know this principle, that basically what decides is your thinking, thought process decides, and then the conventions, they come into play. If you know this, then it's amazing. You become very open-minded and you can appreciate all the traditions. All the traditions. Where, say you go to the Muslim places, yeah, where you don't see the idols, there's also convention. And you go to Buddhist places, you see the idols. Again, this is a convention. Both the conventions. And both conventions, finally, want to follow this, by following these conventions, you become a happier person. You become a better person. For example, without idols, idol is just a statue, it's a stone. Why should you worship the stones, right? So because what is to be worshipped is the infinity, which cannot be represented by stones or the metals like this. Again, one respects the infinity, almighty. That's amazing, right? And whereas the stone idol there, the metal idol there, this represents infinity, right? Amazing. Because we are so ordinary human beings. We need something tangible. So there's something there which represents this infinity. You're getting it? So again, your respect grows, your connection with the wisdom mountains grows. Again, it benefits. So the moment we understand what is convention so well, you can appreciate all the traditions without contradiction. Whereas, if you don't see things as conventions, rather it's coming from the object, then the contradictions are there. You getting it? Okay. Ragaji, what is your mother's name?
Indra.
Indra. Okay. So, Indraji says that Ragaji is my daughter. Right? And then the Richa will say that the Ragaji is my mother. Then there's going to be a fight between Indraji and Richa. Because one says, no, she's not daughter, she's mother. Others say, no, she's daughter, she's not mother. But whereas if you know that is coming from the mind, with respect to me, she is daughter. With respect to me, she is mother. If this is how you can understand it, there is no contradiction. You're getting it? So therefore, understanding this subject of conventionality, which we're going to study in great detail, this will help us greatly to reconcile all the seemingly contradictions and the fights, conflicts, all will be resolved very easily. So some may say that idol worship is all destroyed, just all the idol worshippers. Right? It's because all this invasion happened in the world. All the invasion happened. Just destroy, kill all people who are doing the idol worship. They are the infidels.
Pagan.
Huh? Pagan. Yeah, pagan. Right? And then others said that they don't know how to worship the Buddhas. They don't know even how to worship the enlightened beings. Right? They are just what's the opposite of the heretics. And then one group A says that B is heretic. Group B says A is heretic. In other words, both are heretics. Because they don't know. They don't know how to live harmoniously. Right? Someone who does not know the harmoniously, that is uncivilized. Both are uncivilized in a way. Whereas if somebody knows that everything is just conventions, no contradiction at all. On this tiny planet Earth, why should we have to fight? If this planet Earth is as big as, say, Jupiter or Saturn, we can fight this fight. Right? But it's so small, tiny planet. And in the process of destroying this very planet Earth. And this planet Earth has so much water. And we say, this is dirty water, this ocean is dirty water. And then think of seeing if there's a water drop in Mars. They're so happy. Oh, we have discovered a trace of water there. Forget about clean, pure, not clean, right? Trace of water there. We all have plenty of water here. We simply ignore this. We simply make it dirty. And then say there's a trace of water there. This is a victory. What victory? What do we have? We don't have to send the satellites there. It's already there. We just ignore this. We just discover this, right? So this is where the understanding of the conventions, it helps us greatly. So making frustrations. And then Other prayers which going to do in the mornings, I'll explain one by one why we have to do these things. You getting it? Okay, good. Then the group discussion. For the group discussion, what I will say is that okay, Vipinji, can you hear me?
Yes.
With this truck sound? No problem? Okay. So group discussion, what I would say is that, Chaitanya, you are part of such programs?
I'm a part of NDC online.
Oh, okay. So then the Indrajitji and Rahulji, two of you actually took part in such programs. So they will tell you what the group discussion will be like. It's just group discussion, don't make it formal. Keep it very informal, keep it very informal. The idea is that the people come together, right? And the group leader, the people take turn to the group leader. Every group discussion, you will appoint somebody else as the group leader. The job of the group leader is very simple. To simply be like a, what do you call it?
Coordinator.
Moderator, judge. Right. Okay. How much you will speak, right? Not okay. Not to dominate, right? So everybody will. The group leader will make sure that everybody gets a chance to speak, right? Okay. So it's not just two monologue. Okay. For the group discussion, what would be advisable is instead of just directly jumping into your deeper questions, the best would be, if possible, try to first do a little bit of review of what was being covered in the class. Just a quick review, the bullet points. These are the points covered, and whether you agree or not agree, it doesn't matter. These are points covered, and for point 1, and these are the reasons given. Point 2, these are reasons given. Point 3, like this. Once the review is done, then say the moderator, even the review, right? Even the review, moderator may say give the main bullet points, not explain in great detail, just bullet points, and then moderator will give chance to the other people to speak as to what reasons are cited there during the class for the bullet point 1, and then second person to speak on bullet point 2, 3, not in great detail. Just the point whether you agree, not agree, this is a different point. That is to be discussed during the main discussion. So it's part of review is what is said. For example, if I said that Pune is in Tibet, right? You don't agree with this. So in the bullet point you have to say Pune is in Tibet, he said it. Right? Pune is in Tibet, he said it. Right? And someone, no, he did not say this. No, he said it. But is it correct, not correct, that we'll discuss later. You're getting it? So this is the way, so that everybody will get the basic skeleton of the class. Once you have the basic skeleton, you have something to take home. And then the deeper discussions will follow that. Okay. And then, say then into more discussions, actual discussions. Okay, he said this, and then I have a qualm. I have a little problem there. So because this is what I understand, this contradicts with what he said, right? So there, then say two persons speak for about like 20 minutes, right? The moment person A understands what person B is saying, the moment person B understands what person A is saying, and then even if you don't agree, it's fine. You settle that, okay, this question there we could not settle, right? You agree that there's a question. Finish, move to the next point, right? Okay, this is how, and then try to give chance to everybody, meaning that anybody who raises their hands, make sure that everybody gets a chance to speak. Okay, this is the group discussion. And then the more serious discussion, because this is the small group, more serious discussions which you cannot decide. To the group discussion, what you can do is that you can bring this up, in written, you bring this up, then give it to me, then I will do it, because this is the small group is very easy. Yeah? Okay, this is what we should be doing too. Okay, that's good. So with this, we okay. Now we will for the actual discourse. We have to keep in mind first, as an auspicious indication, we'll recite from page 3. Rekha, keep the book. Okay. Okay. So what we are reading? Some are very technical parts which you will understand only after understanding emptiness, right? So don't worry too much about this. Try your best to understand what you are reading. Where you cannot understand, keep them in your mind. More like in your mind, highlight them, either to ask me later or to see if that comes out in the classes. Okay. The first stanza is the praise to the Bodhisattva, saying invoking his blessings. So for that matter, okay, this is a beautiful place. The center is an extremely beautiful place, and then people come all the way from different places with the aspiration to learn something, with the aspiration to build your, the goodness inside, and in other words, to discover your true nature inside. To discover the true nature inside. For example, the gold when mixed with the soil. They will get out of the gold mine, the gold ore is what? It's just a mixture, it's just a soil there. And in the eyes of ordinary people, we see just a soil there. Soil. And the inequality, the ordinary people will see this as soil. We may dump this, but the gold experts will see this as gold. And how do the gold experts prove that there's gold there? They will separate the soil from the gold. As the soil is more and more separated, then the gold inside will start to glow. Likewise, from this, what we can see is that the early what we saw as ordinary soil is deep inside, there's something glowing there, but it is not glowing because of the soil. Likewise, our mind, it is not glowing at the moment. Why it is not glowing at the moment? Because that this is defiled with the soil of the mental dirts. Now, as we remove the mental dirts, we will discover the true nature of the mind, which is incredibly beautiful. Incredibly beautiful. This true nature of inside is so beautiful, and the true nature of mind and the Buddha's mind, there's no difference. Right? There's no difference. The true nature of mind and the Buddha's mind, there's no difference. So why this true nature of mind? If there's no difference, then why we are so unhappy and he's forever happy? Why we are that not with wisdom, that he is with infinite wisdom? Why not we have the infinite compassion, that he has the infinite compassion? It's all because that all the qualities of infinite compassion, infinite wisdom, and infinite power, they are all within us. Yet they don't manifest because they are tainted by the mental soils, mental defilements. So our job is to remove the mental defilements so that they see the true nature of us, which is so pure, totally fearless. No aging, no death, no sickness, no agitation, no frustration. So which is there inside that will become manifest. Once we know that, once we discover that, and then we'll resort to the ways and means to get into all the mental defilements. Okay, so with this in mind, the stanza 1 is said as the praise to the Buddha, to invoke that. So this is the job. for us to finally discover your true nature. So with this mind, imagine that you, the Bodhisattva is there, and then I'm sure many of you have already received teachings from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. You can also visualize His Holiness the Dalai Lama there, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, enlightened beings. For example, say any being who is a true inspiration for you in terms of wisdom, in terms of compassion. For compassion, for example, say for me, Jesus Christ, right? One time when I heard about the Jesus Christ, the display of the courage and the compassion, that really hit me with, wow, it's amazing. It's amazing. And then when I was in the big congregation of the Jains in Delhi, just being there, and the huge congregation, about like 3,000, Jain common people with the, bhajan, I could feel the peace there. The peace there, these people will never go into terrorism. Guaranteed. Look at the amount of peace that I'm feeling. These people who are following Jainism, they will never go into terrorism. Right? This is the beauty of Jainism. I'm so impressed. So likewise, what I'm saying is that all these great enlightened beings, who really serve as inspiration for you in terms of compassion, in terms of integrity, in terms of wisdom, in terms of, say, the skillfulness and so forth, you can invoke all these enlightened beings. For example, Prophet Muhammad, for example, like, say, the Krishna and Ram, then for example, the Lord Mahavir, then Abraham, Jesus Christ, the Buddha, of course. Just invoke all these beings in front of you, whose ever is a genuine inspiration for you in terms of these good qualities. Okay, one. Then how you visualize them? You visualize them as like your very affectionate mother, and you are like a very tender young child, age 5, age 6, who's so vulnerable, and you are totally at the mercy, at the love and embrace of the mother. One. Then number 2, visualize your two parents on the two sides, and all the family members and all sentient beings. So this is something unique of Buddhism. All sentient beings, whether it's the human beings or animals or insects or the spirits or the gods and goddesses, everyone, all sentient beings around you. So with this, you visualize yourself as a mother, and all others are like your children. And imagine that these young children, they come home demoralized, and you are there to give full love, affection, attention, and embrace. And the purpose of this practice, okay, this part is very important. Purpose of the practice. Purpose of this, say, the whole morning practice and the classes, all these things, the purpose, let us not forget that. The purpose is to discover the true nature of your mind. Discover it and let it manifest. Let it manifest. That's the purpose. So for that matter, obviously you will come up with questions. One, how do I know that I have such a, say, the true nature of the mind, which is so pure? How can I know this? One. Number, if it is there, why not it is manifesting now? How to make it manifest? Number one, how do you know that I have such the purity of my mind, which is of the same quality of love, wisdom, and power as that of all the enlightened beings, such as Buddha? And then number 2 is, how can I make this manifest? 2 things. Okay, for that matter, say the next few days of the retreat is for that purpose, to discover that potential within us and to learn how to get rid of these mental defilements. For the time being, we will think of the analogy which I already said earlier. Say, if you see that there is the gold ore, and then there's gold inside the air, And you say that, how do you know? It's just a soil there. Gold means it's glowing, but it's not glowing there. No mind. There's a gold there. So the gold expert, what will the gold expert do?
Separate.
Remove the soil, separate the soil from the gold. As the soil is separated more and more, then the gold inside will start to glow. From this you come to realize, okay, although it was not glowing before, that is the gold inside. The soil, the dirt, stops the gold inside to glow. You're getting it? Okay. With this, likewise, our mind is a tremendous potential inside. The only thing is that it is the mixed with the soil of the metal dirts. So how to get rid of the metal dirt? Two things. What is that metal dirt? You have to discover that. What is that metal dirt? One. Number two, how to get rid of them. Two things. Okay. For that matter, what I'd like to share with you here is that the metal dirt, just imagine, if the metal dirt is not there, okay, each one of us, I want answers from, not necessarily very precise answers, but any answer that comes to your mind, just let me know. Say, imagine, if the metal dirts are not there within you, if the metal dirts are not there within you, then what is the plight? What is going to be your plight? The plight of you? What are you going to become? Huh? If the metal dirts are not there, what are you going to become? Yeah. You become enlightened. Okay, very good. You become very happy. What do you mean by enlightened?
Not disturbed.
Not disturbed.
The external factors. Not disturbed by external factors.
Okay, not disturbed by external factors, right? Okay, so for that, one thing, it can be like, suddenly the meteoroid coming in the middle of the space, right? So the space is so huge, and where is this going to go? Okay, so this question, so what is he saying? Okay, to make it very simple, to make it very focused, what do you want in your life? Start from there. What do you like? What you want in your life? From there you will see the answer, you will get the answer, right? Okay, tell me, what do you want in your life?
Happiness.
Happiness?
Peace.
Peace? Anyone? Peace, happiness, just pick a mind.
Freedom.
Huh?
Freedom of mind.
Freedom.
Joy.
Joy. So what do we get here? So this part is peace, happiness, freedom, joy. Anything else?
Unconditional happiness, which does not reduce or, we don't want to go up and down,
Okay, no fluctuation.
No.
We want unconditional happiness. No matter what situation, we should be very stably happy. Very good.
Fearless.
Okay, we want to be fearless. That's coming from Tibet house.
Because nobody said.
Okay. So basically, this is so important. This is so important that, right? Whatever we learn here, just see if that resonates with your thinking. You getting it? Just see if that resonates with your thinking, and then when you see that it is resonating with your thinking, you find this such a joy, right? So finally, I'm learning something which really resonates with my thinking, right? For example, why I'm asking this question is that, what do you want? I didn't say that, what is the meaning of life? I didn't say this. I said, what do you want? You're going to start from yourself. From there, we go to the meaning of life. Then from there, we go to enlightenment. You're getting it? This is how we go. Okay. Interestingly, last year, when I was in Singaporeans. Okay, there's a representative here. Rahulji. Okay. Singaporeans, there is generally speaking, it's a very beautiful culture. Beautiful culture. A culture, a mix of two cultures. One, predominantly Chinese culture, and then also the British culture. British colonization, two cultures mixed. And because of the Chinese culture, they're very hardworking, and the element of faith, all these things are there. And the British culture, keenness to learn, the keenness to inquire, question mind is there. So these two things come together in one individual person is a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. So generally speaking, you meet the Singaporeans, they're very gentle and they're keen on learning. It's not very passively gentle, right? Some can be very passively gentle, but it's not actively into learning. And some people can be actively into learning, but not as gentle and as loving and caring. That touching part is not there. So whereas Singaporeans, this is a beautiful blend. I cannot say 100%, but generally speaking, that is the situation. In fact, just recently, I met somebody who took part in one of the Bodhichitta Retreats in Rudenshire. She came to my office there, Tibet House, and then she told me about some of her experience with the Tibetan Buddhists. And then I told her that the moment you meet with Tibetans, it's not that you are now going to the land of paradise, the divine people. Don't think that. I said that Tibetan blood, your blood, is the blood of any other human being. They're just the same. There's no difference. We're just ordinary human beings, prone to anger, attachment, craving, jealousy, and agitation, fear. Everything is there. There's no difference. Only additional thing that came to Tibet was Buddhism from India. That is the only additional thing that came to Tibet. And that how much people are able to imbibe that is not sure. So generally speaking, it's beautiful. The Tibetans say like 2,000 years ago, Tibetans 2,000 years ago, before Buddhism came to Tibet, and Ladakh no exception. Same, right? Very barbaric. 2,000 years ago, very barbaric. They only knew, right, how to destroy somebody else, right? And because Buddhism came there, they just mellowed, right? And it is because of this that many critics of Buddhism in Tibet, they say that we lost the nation because of Buddhism. There are many Tibetan critics, Tibetans, who are against Buddhism. Not too many in number, but in terms, there are people, scholars, say that we lost our nation because of Buddhism. Buddhism mellowed the people, right? Once very aggressive, conquered China, conquered many parts of India, right? And became a very powerful kingdom, nation. And then Buddhism came, and everybody, instead of the sword, picked up the rosary, right? We're ready to fight, they put on folded hands, right? Folded hands, and then they start smiling. They don't terrify anyone else. They start smiling, and then the common Chinese easily came, right? And still they're smiling, and finish. This is what many critics say. Many critics say this, right? So the point is, why did you say this? Huh?
Tibetans are like everyone.
No, why did you say this?
Started with the Singaporeans, and then you told,
Singaporeans?
and then you were.
Both the cultures.
Okay, yes, thank you. Yes. Okay. So the last year, during my visit to Singapore, there was like personal meetings set, and then my host said that there's a professor, Singaporean professor, who likes to meet you for some question answers. So I just stereotyped that all Singaporeans, they're very gentle, very nice, right? So he came and said, and suddenly he shocked me. He said that, Geshe, you're a Buddhist. I said, yes. He said, just tell me, if you are not born in a Buddhist family, do you think that you are still going to be Buddhist? If you are not born in a Buddhist family, do you think that you are still going to be Buddhist? Wow. I said that this question is so good. It's a very good question, right? If possible, you have to ask this question to as many people, right? Why are you Buddhist? Why are you Christians? Why are you Hindus? Why are you Muslims? And why are you Jains? Why are you non-believer? Because my family, my mother, my father, they are non-believers, so I'm a non-believer. Why are you Christian? My father is Christian, so I'm a Christian, right? And then one can become a fanatic, a fundamentalist. You can risk your life for that particular religion, which you don't know why you become, simply because you're born there, right? You are giving your life, and then in the process you create so much of conflict, restlessness in the world, terrorism. Okay, so this is a question that he asked me. So now the point is that, right, day one we are born. For example, I was born in a Buddhist family. And then if somebody, by mistake, right, a day one day old child, by some mistake, a nurse with a mistake, if I'm put in the Christian mother's, the what? Crèche, right? Then by now maybe I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
Right? So that way, the point is that, okay, keep this, if you know this, that how I have these identities of Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, Hindus, Jains, Sikh, Jews, non-believer, it's all because of my family. If this is how we know, then we will see ourselves with a different identity. That I'm a human being, no doubt, that I'm a human being, right? So the other identities, they come later. The first thing is that no doubt I'm a human being. On top of I'm a human being, right? How I started my day? I started my day by crying. How many of us started my day by crying? Day one you were born, how many you must have cried? Huh? All of us. Why did you cry? How many you cried saying that? The other baby is, needs to be fed. Please, fed baby, you cry. How many you cry like this? Or I need to be fed. How many you cried saying that I need to be fed? How many you cried that the other baby is, not being fed? Please fed him or fed her. How many you cry like this? No. We started life by crying for me, I. This is how we started life, right? So just identify your true nature. Your true nature. Identify your true nature. From there you begin. What do you do? For your benefit. Then you see that the life is so meaningful. Simply because you're born in a particular tradition, born in a particular ethnicity, particular community, right? Simply just follow blindly, right? Finally, begin with what you want, right? Okay, in any ways, the thing is that people deep inside, if there's a choice between what I want and my religion, majority, 99% people will follow what I want, right? Well, it's a little sharing today, beginning, right? And don't expect that this sharing is always there. So, right? Sometimes we go to technicalities. Okay, a warning is given, right? Okay, what happened was that, I was in Singapore, right? And there was one girl, and the girl is Buddhist, and the parents are Christians. And there was a little conflict between the parents and the daughter. So I want to resolve this conflict. I wanted to resolve the conflict. So I told the girl that I'd like to see your father. And the girl freaked. She said, no, my father will not accept you. I said that this is not your business. Your business is to tell your father. And to reject me, accept me, that is your father's business, not your business. Your business is to inform this to your father. And I said, okay. So I informed this to your father, and the father said, sorry, I cannot. Then she gave me the message. I said, now you have done your job. Your father's done his job. Done his job. You have done your job. You have sent a message. Your father's done his job. He's rejected me. Now, my job is done because I requested. All three of us, we did the job. Finished. Then the next year in Singapore, again I asked the girl, I want to see your father. She freaked even more. No, he will not accept. I said, what are you doing? This is not your business. Right? Because I gave her father whole 1 year to think. I was not expecting her father to accept me the day I made the request, the first request I made. I was not expecting him to accept it. Because I want to give him 1 year. Right? First he said no. So meanwhile for 1 year he will continue to think. Okay, next time if I invite him, then what he may say. If he say like this, I will say like this. If I say this, he may say like this. Then I'll say like this. He got 1 year to think. Right? So next year, I told the girl, I'd like to see your father. And she said, no. I said, no. Just tell the father. Tell the father. And then if he rejects, fine. So she told the father. And the father said yes. She was shocked. She was amazed. She just, with such a joy, she came to me and said that my father accepted. Because I gave him 1 year. Right? He got 1 year to plan. So he thought that he already had to plan properly. Right? So I went there. We sat on the bench for 3 hours on stretch. Two of us sit there. And we're discussing. And how he started the talk? He said that Christianity is the best religion in the world. And I said, yes. If I say no, get out. The whole purpose of 1 year, asking to wait, it goes wrong, it goes waste. So I said, yes. If I say no, finish. Right? So I said, yes. And not only yes, I have to support that. Look at the education of the world. Christianity made such a contribution. Charity, hospitals, amazing. Who can do better than the Christians? He's so happy. Okay. But then he talked about the God. He said that in this world, so many people, they are trying to act so smart. They try to do against the God's will. Nobody can do anything against God's will. Everything, there's no one who's more powerful than God. I said, yes. Again, if I say no, finish. Get out. Right? So yes. And he said, so it's always just saying, conforming to what he has been saying, yes, for about a whole 1 hour. Yes. And then I could slowly sense that now I can say something to him. Right? He feels comfortable with me. Then he said, he heard this news about His Holiness the Dalai Lama pulled out from the political authority. From the Tibetan political authority, he pulled out his power, he devolved his power. He heard that, and he suddenly picked up that topic. He said that, it's so good that the Dalai Lama pulled out from the influence in Tibet, it's so good. I said, yes. And he said that he's a spiritual person. Why should a spiritual person be in politics? Politics is so dirty. He said it. Spiritual people should be in politics, should not be in politics. I said, yes. And then I told him that I personally see Obama as a very spiritual person. Then he said, yes, he's a very spiritual person. Then I told him, imagine instead of Obama, today Obama is like the king of the world. He was the president. He's like the king of the world. And in place of Obama, if you see somebody else who is not at all spiritual, who is a very cunning person as a president of America, the world is going to be in pieces. He said, yes. Then I told him, therefore spiritual people should be in the politics. He said, yes, you're very bright. Then the there was a problem with his girl. His daughter was not married. And she's already, coming of age. And this was one of the major problems with him. So he said that, this girl, so because he sees me as his daughter's teacher, right? So just trying to influence me so that the girl will get married, right? So he told me that, look at this girl, she's still not getting married. Then I told him that nobody can do things against God's will. God doesn't want her to get married at this age, right? And you are trying to do against God's will. Nobody can dictate to God. God doesn't want her to get married, so therefore she's not getting. Why are you worrying about it? Why are you trying to make the God unhappy about this? So, but she is my daughter. He said, but she is my daughter. Which means that when it comes to one's own personal thing, then God is a little far away. Right? She doesn't say, okay, he doesn't say that my daughter's not getting married because the God doesn't want to marry. He's not saying this. Right? He's complaining. Right? So the point is that finally we have two things. One is how the spirituality that you have adopted tells you to do, and one is your intuitive, your inner desire. There are two things. So if you don't connect the two, then we see that there's always a clash between the two, and then you see that your life can go miserable. Whereas if you connect the two so well, that my inner desire, even spirituality, is to fulfill my inner desire. Is spirituality? Okay. Okay. Vipinji, can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Even the spirituality should be to make your life happier, right? Make your life happier, make your life more meaningful. So there should be no disconnect between what your natural desire, the inner wish, and the spirituality. There should be no disconnect. Okay, with this mind, if this is how we should see the reality, the spirituality, yourself, then we have to start from the basic question, what do you want? So the answer is that I want peace, I want happiness, I don't want fear, then I want joy, right? Okay, so we come up with, and then be very honest. So you have your one or two answers. If possible, try to meet with other people, and then see what they are seeking. You have your friends. See what they are seeking, right? So some people, they seek political power. Some people, they seek promotion in their jobs. Some people, they seek a happy family. Some people, they seek an easy job. Some people, they seek money, right? And some people, they seek, the fundamentalism, terrorism, corruption, and so forth. So people seek different things. You ask them, you see the people go do different things, as seeing these things as what they seek. Now, so there, what is the answer? Answer is just innumerable answers are there. Some say, I want promotion. As what Vipinji said yesterday, right?
Nariman.
Oh, no, Vipinji is there, the Nariman. Okay. Say, what is always said is that when you're very healthy, you give up your health to get money. And then when you become sick, because you give up your health, you just neglect your health and you become sick. When you become sick, you give up your money to recuperate your... This is just contradiction. This is how people lead their life. You're getting it? First they seek money, giving up their health. And then they sacrifice the money to get the This is just a contradiction. This is how we lead a life, right? Okay, so there what I'm saying is that if we look at these things, so this is something where generally speaking, either somebody is more matured, will ask this question, or even somebody is very young, like some of you are here, like in your 20s, you ask this question, right? Deeply ask this question, these people will mature faster, right? And mature more profoundly. Even at early age, if you learn how to ask these questions, why, people, what they are seeking. The first answer that they give is, that you get is multiple answers. Money, promotion, and then just immediate gratification, then happiness, good place, adventure, political authority, and then to be famous, and so forth. And then when you ask the second question, why do you want this? Why do you want money? Why do you want promotion? Why do you want power? Why do you want this? Then all will come merge to the same answer. Answer is that I want happiness. With money, I'll get happiness. With power, I think I'll get happiness. Right? With promotion, I'll be happy. With adventure, I'll be happy. By myself, I'll be happy. Right? So finally the second question, everyone will boil down to the same answer, that I seek happiness. Okay. So meaning what we seek happiness, this can be seen in two parts. What we call as I seek happiness, right? We see that it can be broken down into two parts. One is to get rid of the fears of life. And number two is what we call as happiness. We started with the happiness. I seek happiness. So this, what we call as happiness, can actually be split into two. One is seeking freedom from fears. And then no fear, then additional happiness. Right? Some people, they have no fear, their life is safe, they feel so bored. They're not too happy, right? Sometimes it happens. Right? Say, okay, I have everything, but still something is missing, I feel bored. Which means the person, there's no fear there. Right? But still the person is not happy. So it's the happiness out of getting rid of the fear. This is one happiness. Another one is you have the freedom and still you are not happy. So that is the additional happiness. There are two things. One is to get rid of the fears, and number two, after getting rid of fear, still seeking happiness. There are two. So these two things are something that we are seeking. We are seeking to get rid of fears, miseries, and number two, to get as infinite happiness. Two things. You getting it? Okay. If somebody asks you, what is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of your life? In a nutshell, do you think, how many of you agree with me, that the meaning of my life is to get rid of all the miseries and to get the maximum happiness? How many agree with me? Very good. And who see that as the meaning of life? Buddhists or non-Buddhists?
All.
Huh? Boys or girls?
All.
Asians or non-Asians? Everyone, right? So this is how we discover ourselves. That finally what I seek is I seek, say for example, okay, by showing devotion to the Buddha, if I get the maximum happiness, all my fears got rid of fully. By showing disrespect to the Buddha, do it. By showing respect to the Buddha, if you get it, do it. Right? The point is that showing respect, not respect, this is the means. What you're seeking is the goal. Don't forget it, the goals and the means. Oftentimes we forget the goals and we emphasize so much on the means, and the means can be wrong. Right? So therefore, the means are there to accomplish your goals. Don't forget the goals. Okay, with this, number one is what is the meaning of life? To get rid of, to the best I can, to get rid of all my miseries, to acquire maximum happiness. One, do you have this? Are you free of miseries? Do you have all infinite happiness with you?
No.
You don't have it. You have the goal inside. This goal, what we call as the goal, that goal inside us is the one which is free of all suffering and which has the maximum happiness. But that gold is mixed with the soil, therefore it is not glowing. Right? Why don't you experience that? It's because it's not glowing. Why it is not glowing? Because it is mixed with the soil. What soil? These soil are known as the metal soil. The metal defilements. You getting it? Metal defilements. Now, what is the job? Hey, so what we have learned thus far is that, okay, what I'm saying is to get rid of fears, number one. The number two is?
To get infinite happiness.
To get the maximum infinite happiness. Two things. And these two things you don't have to get from outside. It's already within you. It's already within you. But how can I know this? I don't see it. Because this you don't see it because it is mixed with the soil. Right? The gold is there, but you don't see it because it's mixed with the soil. Right? Okay. And this soil is known as metal defilement. It's not external soil, it's a metal soil. So this is metal defilement. Okay, the next question. So what could be a next question? So what I said is that we have this, finally my goal is, by attending the retreat, by not attending the retreat, right? My goal is to activate this, the infinite happiness, and to get rid of all the miseries. This is my goal, right? But this goal is not manifest now. It's inside there, but it's not manifest. Why it is not manifest? Because it is mixed with the mental defilement. So if this is what I say now, what would be your next question?
What are the
How can we remove this?
Okay. Well, anyone else? What would be your next question?
What is the mental defilement?
Huh?
What is the soil? What is the mental defilement?
What is that mental defilement? What is that soil? What is that mental defilement? Number two, how to get rid of this? How to remove this? Okay, good. So the answer will come in the next session. Okay. Okay. Suspense. So what do we have now? Tea break. Tea break again. Group discussion. Yes, according to the new timetable. New timetable is tea break. Okay. So the group discussion. What you can do is that because the group is not too big, you split in two groups. Two groups would be good. Two groups. And maybe what we can do is that group A and group B, right? Group A and group B. And the one can be in the dining hall, and one can be here, right? So by the way, the tea allowed here, not allowed? No, allowed, not allowed. Arrangement is fine. Huh?
You are the boss.
No, not allowed inside. Okay, so what do you do then?
You can have our tea and
come back. Finish.
No, because tea will take another 20 minutes. Okay, so Indrajit says that it's an exception today, except for this retreat. Okay, so bring your tea and you can have your tea and have the discussion together, right? So group A and group B, and then we will see that both groups are active.
Group A is bigger than group B.
Group A, okay, so we can,
balance.
yes. Okay, so the Nida will join group B, right? And Vipinji will also join group B. And then if the need be, then Sumit will also join group B. Right?
And moderator round.
Sorry.
I do the
No, everyone is going to be a moderator.
Moderator, we will take turn. People will take turn. So I would say that maybe Indrajit and
Yeah.
Okay, so beginning, two of them know how the group discussion is taking place. So Indrajit will lead the first one, and Dorji will lead the second one, and the others will watch how is being led, and then then you take the turn. Okay, we'll make 3 prostrations to the Buddha. This stanza encompasses all the teachings of the Buddha within a single stanza. And we see that it focuses on two areas. One is enthused by great compassion. The ground is compassion. You taught Immaculate Dharma. Immaculate Dharma is the wisdom. So the compassion and the wisdom. These are the two, the points which encompass all teachings of the Buddha. Somehow, however numerous teachings of the Buddhas they might be, however sophisticated they might be, they all are encompassed within these two areas, either compassion or the wisdom. The ground must be compassion, and the energy should be given by the compassion, but the direction must be given by the wisdom. Only if we know the direction, and then we have the energy to go. In some cases you know the direction, but you don't have the energy to go. In some cases you are full of energy, but you don't know where to go. So finally, to accomplish our goal, the goal, and that's what we said this morning, to be, say, the meaning of life, the goal of life, that is to acquire to get rid of all the fears and to acquire maximum happiness. For that matter, we need two things. One is we need to know where to go, the direction, meaning the goal of getting rid of all the fears and achieving maximum happiness. This is where we're going. This direction you'll get from the wisdom of emptiness. And then to go there, we need tremendous energy. Without that energy, we cannot go. For example, say if a broken car is to climb off the Bodhichitta Center, impossible. Although the person knows where to go, but if the car is broken, it doesn't have energy to go, it cannot go, it has to climb. So the enlightenment is something which is very different from how we lead our life. Say, to get rid of all fears of life, to have infinite happiness, this is a very different landscape, very different reality. For that we need a lot of energy to go there. All the energy that we have, they are all from samsara. All the energy that we have, they are all just directed towards samsara. Now we need tremendous energy go to that goal of fearlessness and infinite happiness. So for that we need to know what that goal is. What will let you know that? The wisdom. And the tremendous energy. That energy will be given by compassion. Right? So these two things are the essence of the Buddha's teachings. Okay, with that mind, with the proper visualization of all the Buddha's bodhisattvas in front of you, and with the proper visualization of your two parents and all your dear sentient beings around you and in your life, you must have heard about, you must have seen so many people lost, so many people died, and even animals, very near and dear friends, near and dear people, your family members and so forth, so many. Let us all pray for them. Then they also get the wisdom to see the direction. They also have the compassion as the energy to achieve the final goal. And then imagine that each one of us, we're going to, through this retreat in Bodhichitta Center, we will learn of this wisdom and the compassion so that you can be the champion leading all sentient beings towards enlightenment. Okay, with that mind, let's recite this. Enthused by great compassion, you taught them Immaculate. Okay, let's read this together. Enthused by great compassion, you taught them Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught them Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught them Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. The next is page 4. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Okay, the next stanza, this is the wisdom. What is that wisdom which will give you the direction of the ultimate goal? So that goal, along with the wisdom, is set here. This stanza, we will fully understand it only after the retreat. This is very concise. This is extremely concise meaning set by Arjuna, and it consists of both the things. What is the where are we going? Where should we go? And then how to go. So these two are given in this stanza. Okay, we'll recite this and then try to see how much you understand it. If you don't understand anything, don't worry. The fact that, oh, this is very complicated, I don't get anything, so that will give you a sense of curiosity to learn more. So then this retreat will be even more meaningful for us. Okay. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no rising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught us peace, which is freedom of vibrations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all these hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, who through the knowledge of past courses whose have been my greatest to achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience of subduous expanded variety of teachings, the one who has transformed into a reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teachers, the guide and protector to your own prostrations, the one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, let us recite this mantra. Some of you already know how to recite this mantra. Those of you who don't know this, just listen to us and then join us. Join us in this recitation. And before we read this, I'll quickly explain the meaning. With the meaning, then the recitation will be of much more benefit. So Om, syllable Om, this is something common to Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, and Sikhism also. This Om is consisted of 3 letters, A, U, Ma, 3 letters. And these 3 letters, they symbolize the body, speech and mind. Body, speech and mind. And body, speech and mind of the ordinary beings as well as the enlightened beings. So don't think of enlightened beings somewhere outside. Say, enlightened beings outside, plus yourself, when you become enlightened, your body, speech and mind. When you're enlightened, your body, speech and mind. When you're not enlightened. So the 3 letters symbolize the body, speech and mind of the impure body, speech and mind, as well as the pure body, speech and mind. Om. So as we recite this mantra Om, we should be reminded of the fact that finally I should not be staying idly. I should transform this body, speech and mind that I have, which are impure at the moment, to the state of the perfect purity, where I become enlightened, where I will be free from all fears, where I will have the infinite happiness. Through this, I can benefit all other sentient beings. So this is aspiration that we should reflect on as we recite the syllable Om. Then next question is, how to do that? How to do that? Then the remaining part, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. So the lines come up. So it says Ye Dharma, Ye, these, plural, these, Dharma, phenomena, Hetu, cause, Hetu is cause, Prabhava, arise. All these phenomena arise from causes. Arise from causes. They don't arise randomly. They are never randomly risen. They all arise from causes. Prabhava. Hetum, Desham, Tathagato. Hetum, Desham. Hetum is plural form of the cause, the causes. Hetum, Desham, these causes. Tathagato, the enlightened one. Tathagato, Hyavatat. Hyavatat means taught or said. So what these causes are is taught by the Tathagata, taught by the enlightened one. Hyavatat, Desham, Jayo, Nirodha. Desham, Jayo, say Nirodha. Nirodha is a cessation. Cessation of these causes. getting rid of these causes. Desham Jayo. Desham Jayo is these. Getting rid of these. These referring to the causes. Desham Jayo Nirodha Evam. Evam is thus. Evam Vati, again taught or said. Evam Vati. Who said it? Mahashramana, the great seer, the great enlightenment, the great saint. Buddha. Mahashramana Yeswaha. Yeswaha is established. So this is what is established. So the point here, the meaning you see just below there, all phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. So this, and from this, over this whole retreat, we have to learn what are the causes of all the miseries. All phenomena arise from causes. The phenomena here precisely referring to the miseries which we dislike. The miseries, the fears, the anxieties, stress, anguish. So what precisely these phenomena which torment us, which torture us, which make us suffer, which make us miserable. These experiences, they don't arise randomly. They arise from the causes. If you don't want these experiences, identify the causes, get rid of these causes. And what are these causes? They are taught by the Buddha. So now, say over the retreats, all these retreats, we're going to learn what are these causes. We have to precisely identify these causes, which people identify these causes. And on 19th last year, right? 19th? Yeah. So by 19th, if we could not identify what the causes are, right? So then you have to discuss, we are not supposed to leave this center before unless we are able to identify what these causes are very precisely and how to get rid of these causes, right? Only when we are very confident, finally, no matter what, however many retreats that I may attend, and then say however many teachings that may be, finally these are the things, these are the causes, and these are things that I have to get rid of. And how to get rid of? These are the means by which to get rid of. So that we must learn within the retreat. Okay, so then the hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha. So nirodha, cessation of these causes, is taught by the great seer. Okay, let's say this 3 times together. And those of us who already know how to say this, we'll say this together. Those of us who are hearing this for the first time, listen to us and then join us. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Okay, now we continue reading the following stanzas, the meaning. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. The next stanza, this is extremely important. This stanza was said by the Buddha himself. What happened was that the Buddha Shakyamuni, where did the Buddha Shakyamuni attain enlightenment? Bodhgaya under the Bodhi tree. So after achieving enlightenment, the idea for the very purpose for the Prince Siddhartha to eventually become enlightened is to benefit the beings. And the best way by which to benefit the beings is by giving teachings. And in fact, say the Buddha Shakyamuni, see if you read his biography, we see that how he benefited beings was done through three ways. One is the physical, say the charisma, and also one physically is so radiant, looks very different from the others, very outstanding, people seem very different. Instantly, they simply surrender. One. And then he performed many miracles. He performed many miracles, particularly the 15th day of the first lunar month. So there, at that time, he performed so many miracles, the Buddha Shakyamuni. It is for this, that is what is today remembered as the Chotu Melam Chimu. Chotu in Tibetan meaning, Chotu means miracles. Melam Chimu, the prayer day to remember the Buddha's performance of the innumerable miracles. So it's a long story. Okay, so physically he performed these miracles, one. And then mentally, he just saw through every atom of the universe. Every atom of the universe and every mind of the sentient beings, and how the sentient beings are suffering, how they can be erratic, how they can be freed from the suffering. He could see every detail of the atoms and the beings mentally, and then imbued with tremendous, incredible compassion. So this is mental. And then words, whatever the words he uttered, anybody who hears his voice is so pleasant to hear, so healing to everybody's ears and heart. So these we see that and people have benefited in their own ways. Some people who are less intelligent at that point, they're hearing his advice, they follow, and they're being healed, they were happy. And more intelligent people, they learn about the wisdom from him, and then through the wisdom they subdue they transform the mental states, and then eventually they're liberated. So this is how this Prince Siddhartha, after becoming enlightened, he benefited beings. So finally, of these three things, today, we cannot really see the Prince Siddhartha physically. We cannot see that, although he does exist even today. So that is what we learn, right? And that is the Buddha's biography. It is two levels. One is the historical biography, and the other one is a unique biography. So historically speaking, we say, Buddha Shakyamuni passed away 2,500 years ago. But the unique biography, if you know how the psychology works, how the psyche works, how the mind works, in a very subtle way, we'll see that the moment somebody becomes enlightened, the person never dies. The person never dies. So there, the person has become, say, in that particular form of the purity, the particular form of enlightenment, the person exists eternally. So, but the eternal should not be understood as the permanent. It's a very different connotation that we'll learn later on. Okay, so there, the Buddha is forever existent, right? Forever existent, but we cannot see that. Although he benefited the beings in three ways: physically, verbally, and mentally. Physically, what he did physically, you cannot see it now. Miracles that he performed, we just read it and then we have to believe in it. Otherwise, we cannot see that. Miracles that he performed. And then the physical appearance or the descriptions are given there, that he is just so elegant, radiant. Again, we have not seen that. And then mental is even further away. We cannot see the Buddha's mind. Right? Now all the three deeds, physical, verbal, and mental, we see that what he verbally did to give teachings, that is still prevalent. All the books, they are his teachings. So these teachings benefit the beings in the most profound way. So the purpose for somebody, anybody, even each one of us, when we become enlightened, finally what you should be doing is to benefit the beings. And the best way by which to benefit the beings is through the teachings. So On the path under the Bodhi tree, Bodh Gaya, after becoming enlightened, he's totally apt to give the perfect teachings, but he did not give teachings for 49 days. 49 days he did not give any teachings. So Indra and Brahma, they were so puzzled. Prince Siddhartha, he became enlightened and meant to benefit all sentient beings, motivated by incredibly great compassion. As we read, enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate dharma, but no immaculate dharma is taught. So Indra and Brahma, they were so puzzled. Why the Prince Siddhartha, now becoming enlightened, now becoming the full awakened one, why he is not turning the wheel of dharma or giving teachings? So Indra and Brahma, they descended on the earth. They descended and made prostrations to the Buddha. And then with folded hands made the requests. Please don't remain silent, give the teachings. Start to give teachings to benefit the beings. Then the Buddha said this stanza in Tibetan. This is the Tibetan version. So the English translation is here. Profound, peaceful, elaboration free. We'll all read this together. Profound, peaceful, elaboration free, clear light and non-compulsive. Such is the nectar of dharma I've discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I return the words. Okay, so what is this reality which is so profound, which the Buddha Shakyamuni said is so profound that I don't see anybody who can understand this, so therefore I prefer to return to the words rather than in silence, rather than to give teachings, because nobody can understand it. This is what the Buddha said. And then the Indra and Brahma, they made more requests to the Buddha Shakyamuni. And finally the Buddha assented with this request, and he went towards Sarnath and started giving teachings. Okay, what is that teaching which the Buddha Shakyamuni described as very subtle? So that is the next stanza. Let's read this. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space, is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times of the obeisance. Okay, now the ground for the Buddha's teaching, the basic ground that we have to know if you really want to seek a meaningful life, is to know this, is to get rid of the ignorance. And there are three kinds of ignorance. The first three lines, they tell us how to get rid of the three kinds of ignorance, and the opposite of these three are known as the three levels of ignorance, and the three lines tell us the three wisdoms. Okay, let's read this together. All composite things are impermanent, all contaminated things are of the nature of suffering, all phenomena are of the nature of emptiness, surfaces. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha, the Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of expansive billions of eons. Okay, now this is a very important point. The next stanza, this will tell us what we actually should be doing, right? Rather than expecting some blessings from the Buddha. Right, for your own benefit, for your own real happiness, what we should be doing. So it says, let's read it together. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of the suchness that the beings are liberated. This is amazing. So anybody who is a very sensible person, wise people, read this, that's very true. Right? So sometimes we get some illusion from all traditions, not only non-Buddhist traditions, even Buddhist traditions also. Even Buddhist traditions, people have misconceptions, thinking that you go to Guru, you go to some, shrine place, holy place, you go there, and then you don't have to do anything, just go there, that place will bless me, and then my miseries will be over. That is totally illusion. These places, they have effect on us. We are not to say that, oh, this is not true, right? It has effect on us. In fact, there are two kinds. Let's say, okay, how many of you like Alfonso mangoes? Right? Okay, everybody smiles. Which means you like Alfonso mango. okay, in Vajradhatu Center, we'll have many Alfonso mangoes. Say in 3 years' time, we'll make sure that there are so many Alfonso mangoes. Then everybody will support this project, Alfonso mango planting project. And then what? Some people bring some bricks to make to support the saplings. Some people bring the fence. Some people bring good fertilizers. Some people bring fresh water from Mount Kailash, right? And so forth. Okay, tell me, all these things that you are doing, do they help for the coming up of the Alfonso mango in the future? Yes, they do help. And then if they help, fine, you do it for 20 years without Alfonso seed brought. Right? You do it for 20 years, 100 years do it. Right? Trucks and trucks of the Mount Kailash water, or say the fertilizers, and then the fence, beautiful fence and so forth. Without the seed, nothing will grow. There's Alfonso mangoes. Right? So we need two things. One is the substantial cause as Alfonso seed, other is the cooperative cause. Water, fertilizers, all these things are cooperative causes, cooperative conditions, causes. And the Alfonso mango seed is the substantial cause. We need two things, right? So people said your own effort, your own correct effort in the wisdom and compassion, this is an Alfonso seed within you. And all the other things, seeking blessings, going to pilgrimage, Bodh Gaya, or Palitana, right? Palitana, what is the Lord Krishna? Mecca, what Lord Krishna's place? Vrindavan.
Govardhan.
Mathura. Jerusalem, right? Go to these places. These are all cooperative causes, not the substantial cause. Don't forget it. Oh, these are just cooperative causes. Substantial causes, the actual seed, and you bring thousands of seeds here without water, soil, and so forth. Again, this seeds will not germinate. You need both. You need both. You're getting it? So therefore, the point is that they finally okay. So finally, what we be doing is that all these factors are there. All these factors are very precious factors, but they are cooperative conditions and causes. They are not the substantial cause. Cooperative, the conditions are required, but the substantial factor must be introduced by yourself. That is, cultivating the wisdom and cultivating the unconditional compassion. These two things are required as the substantial cause. Okay, so that is what we have to finally, put effort in, right? Okay, so with this in mind, then the next, if you're able to do that, then what we do is that as auspicious indication, what we do is, okay, with auspicious indication, I continue reading this, page 8. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildering miseries gloom. Okay, so this, finally, how to plant this, the substantial cause of the wisdom is for us to go through study, reflection, and meditation. Three things. First, we have to begin with the studies. For the meditation, we need an adequate conviction through reflection. For the meditation, after meditation, we need the prior conviction. This conviction must be cultivated through reflection. So number 2 is reflection. And this reflection, for to reflect, we need the materials to reflect on. These materials you must get from learning. So learning, reflection, and meditation. And for the learning, we have to learn from, for example, the teachings. And the best of the teachers are the Buddhas. So we request the Buddhas to give teachings, continue to give teachings, so that the being's ignorance can be eliminated through studies, reflection, and meditation. Okay, now with this, finally, what is the essence of the Dharma? What is the essence of the So find out what the essence of the dharma, of the teachings of your life. Again, it's so beautiful to put in this way. The last stanza, this is said by the incredibly great, the saint of Sakya tradition. Sakya, Tibetan tradition, within that, the Sakya tradition, incredibly great teacher, Sachin Kongwe Nyingpo. So let's read this, the last one. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhichitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. So this, we must be able to summarize everything which we would learn over the next few days. We should be able to summarize in this stanza. So if you see that the knowledge is complete, then you see that anything that anybody teaches something central, somehow we can summarize into all these stanzas, right? Every stanza is like a summary of everything that the wise teachings of anywhere, from any traditions, the Hinduism, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, Jainism, the same Baha'i, any tradition, any wise teachings come, you can see that they fall under one of these categories. Right? This is so beautiful. Okay, so with this, let us turn to page 31. Page 31, let's recite the Heart Sutra mantra. So this mantra, this page 31, the mantra there, this mantra, so after learning all these things, having planted the substantial cause, having planted substantial cause in the form of wisdom, in the form of unconditional compassion, and having gathered the cooperative causes, right, combined together, then you have to grow, right? Say Alfonso Mango, what should you imagine? You are Alfonso Mango sapling, that you are, say, first in the Vajradhatu, you come as a sapling. You put there, then what do the people do? They will put the fence around you with all the other conditions, water, fertilizer, all these things, then they'll the fence. Why fenced? Why fenced?
No graveyard.
Otherwise the cows can eat you up, because you are very delicious. Cows can eat you up, you know. So if you oh cows, I'm Alfonso sibling, please come, they will eat you, finish, no Alfonso Mango growing, right? So what we should be doing is that first we should be fenced. Fenced means that, okay, I'm for Alfonso Mango, I'm Alfonso Mango sapling, not a mango yet. Not a mango, right? I'm a sapling, so I must be fenced, right? So they don't call the cows, stop the cows, right? Cows are the analogy for the people who drown us into, who said that, oh, what are you doing going to Pune Vajradhatu? Very boring. What you have become so boring person nowadays. What happened? Right? This is not life. Right? This is not life. Right? Come to to a party, to the birthday party. What else?
Pubs.
Okay. That's this extreme, you know. So to the pubs, to the birthday party, to the nightclubs. Oh, come, it's so boring. Right? You are just 20 years old. Wedding parties, right? You're just 20 years old. Don't see yourself like say 90 years old boring girl or boring man, right? You're just 20 years old. Don't be boring. Okay. So there are so many people there. You know, so people to drag you in samsara, you don't have to worry about that. There are so many people there. People really to push you towards enlightenment, so less in number. When you go to Vajradhatu Center for any kind of retreat, right? For any kind of retreat, people really rejoicing in you is so less. And we said, I meant to go to Vajradhatu, then I stopped and now I went to party. People say, wow. Okay, so this is plenty. Now the point is that, okay, so after being fenced, what should you do? Don't remain as a sapling forever. Within the fence, keep growing. Right? Okay, now I'm sapling, nobody can eat me, I'm fenced. The point is defeated, the purpose is defeated. It's not just for you to remain as a sapling, for you to grow to a tree. While fans keep growing, keep growing, keep growing, keep growing, right? So keep growing to what extent? To the extent of you giving fruits. Once a fruit is given rise to, remove the fence. Fence will otherwise stop you from benefiting the cows. Remove the fence, let the cows enjoy your fruits, let the cows enjoy your shade, yet the cow cannot destroy you. You're already very strong, right? Okay, so how to proceed from the sapling state to such a fruitional state where you're going to benefit everyone so greatly? How should we proceed through these stages? So this process is stated in this mantra, Dhyata Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Samgade Bodhi Swaha. So the meaning is, Dhyata, Dhyata is, here is thus. What we should be doing? Here is thus. Om, explained already. Don't stay sapling and the very defiled body, speech and mind. Om, don't remain a sapling with the defiled body, speech and mind. Transform this defiled body, speech and mind to the undefiled body, speech and mind. How? Don't continue to fence yourself. Don't continue to remain a sapling. Go from the state of undefiled to the Go from the state of defiled to the undefiled. Gade gade, go. Gade gade, go. Para gade, go beyond. Parasangade, go utterly beyond. Bodhi Swaha, establish your ultimate enlightenment. So this is a process. This process, how we should be moving from the state of sapling to the state of fully grown tree with innumerable fruits to benefit the sentient beings. Okay, let's recite this little mantra. It's a reminder for us, for me also. Whenever I recite this mantra, it's a great reminder for me. Okay, I should not remain as who I am. I should be actually progressing. I should be improving, right? I should keep going. Don't just put a full stop. I have to keep going from where you are, right? Don't think that, okay, look at His Holiness the Dalai Lama, he's so evolved. Look at this, the teacher is so evolved. This teacher is so evolved. Look at, let's say, the Guru which is amazing. Look at the Bodhichitta is amazing. Look at Lama Tsongkhapa is amazing. Jesus Milarepa is amazing. Who I am, I'm a chosen holy person. No. Whatever you are, whoever you are, from there, if you can grow, say for example, if you are 5% pure, 95% impure, but if you're growing, this is the mark of success. From 5%, if you grow to 6%, this is mark of success. Never stop. Keep growing. That is the success. That, if you're able to do, even if you are 80% pure, but if you don't grow further. Whereas on the other hand, if you're just 5% pure, keep growing 1% each time. That is far better than somebody who is already 80% pure and not growing. Right? Somebody growing, that is precious. So this is what we reminded of by this mantra. Gade gade para gade para sangade bodhi swaha. Don't stay stagnant. Keep growing. Go beyond. Go utterly beyond and establish your ultimate awakening. Discover your true nature fully. Remove the mental defilements. So this go. Go is a journey. Go means journey. Undertake a journey. What journey? It's not external journey. It is a mental journey. A journey of cleansing the mind of the mental defilements so that the gold, the pure gold of the true nature of your mind becomes manifest. That is the journey. Right? Okay. So let's recite this the 7 times together with the tune, with the Iyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata 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 Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. Okay. Okay, continues from where we left this morning. So this true nature that we're going to discover. Finally, we begin from the basic, the aspiration that each one of us we have. In a very loose sense, what we call as what I finally want me. Each one of us, everyone. What we seek is we seek a state where we are totally free from suffering. Number one. Number two is we seek a state of infinite happiness. Two things, right? If you agree with this, only if you agree with this, we can go further, right? So this state of fearlessness and the state of infinite happiness. So this is actually not that you don't have to go to get it from outside. It is within yourself. And then don't make it poetic. Don't make it poetic. It's a reality. We have to discover it. Don't just believe in it. Don't just, okay, he said it, it must be true. Or the Buddha said it, it must be true. No. You must gain conviction in this. Whether you're Buddhists, whether you're Christians, Hindus, Muslims, Jains, the Jews, non-believers, anybody who has a mind, right? It's not that only if you belong to Buddhists, you have this, the purity, the state of perfection within you. And if you know the moment you're out of Buddhist, then you don't have this. That's not true. That's not true. Anybody who has this mind that anybody who has this feeling, I don't want suffering, I want happiness. That person, that mind which thinks, that mind is the one, the true nature of that mind is so pure. Okay, so pure, and that mind has the quality, these two qualities, total freedom from suffering, fearlessness, and infinite happiness. The same mind has these two qualities. Okay, so then it will take us to the technical part. You ready? Yes. Thus far, you got it, right?
Yes.
You're convinced thus far? Yes. Okay, so now you still can ask questions. How do I know that I have this nature? But if this is how we start, okay, that is not necessary that I should be baptized as a Buddhist to come to attend this lecture in the Vajradadu, right? As long as somebody has a feeling, I want happiness, I don't want suffering, that person is eligible to listen to this because that person has the capacity to achieve fearlessness, to achieve the infinite happiness, and these two not to be sought from outside, is within. And that too, we don't have to believe in it. It's something of fact that we have to discover. Okay, so to discover that, it will take a little time. We have to study more, right? It will take a little time. But this is something which is true, whether you're Buddhist or not, this is not the point. Whether you're male or female, this is not the point. It is with this that for Buddha, there's no discrimination between the males and the females. This is the reason. Male and female, there's just a distinction all the way to the body. And the body is so temporary that it spans for one life. Maximum it is for 100 years or 100. Somebody nowadays, some people live for like 104, 110, maybe world record 117 or 120 something. It's the genius record, right? Otherwise, it's just this span of time is so less. So the body which determines your gender, that is just, it spans for like just 100 and so maximum 120 years, maximum. So this doesn't determine who you are. You are determined by I, this feeling of I, which exists all through the, say, the eternity, through endlessly. You go ad infinitum down the line in time. So this feeling of I want happiness, I don't want suffering. So that is associated with mind, not with the body. So that, on that level, there's no difference between the male and the female. We are just equal. So therefore the Buddha said that, and then that